Hey everyone, I'm Carl Taze Ransom, the host of the C Note, but this is not a regular episode of the C Note. I will be starting season two, episode one, uh, on June the 17th, which will be on Thursday, I believe, 2 days before Juneteenth. That's what we'll be discussing on that day. But today I'm kicking off a series of 10 to 15 minute segments, um, talking to the cast and the crew of my upcoming film. Today I'm talking to the very dynamic brother, DP, who will be creating the magic from behind the scenes. I'm the camera, Mr. Darius Lyles. There he is. I only see half of your face there. Oh, somebody's
Sorry
car
about that.
alarm.
Car alarm was going off.
Oh, okay. All right. How are you, brother Darius?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Um, right now, I see one other person in here, but I'm sure other people will be, hey, what's up, whoever that is right there. All right, we got somebody in here.
That's my
Yeah,
man
well,
Thomas. What's up, Thomas?
oh, what's up, brother? So, we're here today to talk really quickly, like 10, 15 minutes about the upcoming project, my project that you're going to be filming, which I'm very excited about. But also, we can give some background on you as well, not just about my project. Um, so, where are you from, and when did you start getting into filmmaking and so forth? Is this something that you've always been into
Mhm.
since childhood or whatever?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Detroit, and
Hmm.
um, yeah, I always loved filmmaking. It started with just running around with my dad's photography camera and just taking pictures, and just wanting to be the person that was like the official vacation photographer. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
then my dad was
Yeah.
always, he still is like a gadget geek. You know what I'm saying? So he always had the cutting edge.
Right.
He also had, sorry, we're in the warehouse right now. So yeah, it's like, he always had like the cutting edge digital cameras and everything. So I would just literally spend my summers running around outside taking pictures of everything. And then,
Hmm.
he got a very early digital video camera, mini DV camera. And basically I just took it and just started making my own little home movies. And then this was like when I was like 12, 13 years old. Then I was blessed to
Okay.
go to a high school that had a pretty robust TV and film program. And,
Hmm.
I was able to help build the actual TV studio for the whole school. And, I was one of the first class. We were the first class that really were able to actually make films. And now that program, a whole 18 years later, is it's a burgeoning film program at that high school in the suburbs outside of Detroit, and they have film festivals and everything. So I go back from time
Very
to
cool.
time to talk to the teacher that helped start it all, and just see how far I went. And then from there, I went to Howard University, where I studied film,
All right.
and then stayed in the DC area, and just been building here ever since.
All right. Went to Howard. That's what's up.
Yes, sir.
um, I'm not like I said, this is not going to be a long thing. Hey, what's up? Um, basically, we're here to talk about, got some background on you, and also talk about this project, We Brothers, which and how I came about meeting you and so forth. Um, well, I originally had somebody else that I knew that was interested in shooting this project, but of course they're all over the place and they're out in Chicago and they really wanted to do this, but they wasn't able to at the time. So I was like trying to find somebody else to shoot this project that I could trust, and they definitely had to be black. I'm very serious about that. I'm only working with our people, and
Yeah.
it ain't got nothing to do with hating anybody, but that's just what's on me to show the upcoming generations of black people that we can work together as a people. So it's very important to me to have like an all black production team and all that kind of stuff and to work with black cinematographers. Because that's what I'm about. And that's what my work is about. Portraying us, in not all those stereotypical ways, but showing us how we are, Even though
Hmm.
some people may fit those stereotypical ways, but we all don't fit those stereotypical or those stereotypes that you see. Um, so I hit up a mutual friend of ours by the name of Mansa. He has his own production company, Mojo Productions, I believe, right?
Hmm.
And he wanted to do it as well because we had talked about working together over the past 3 or 4 years, but then he was tied up with a previous engagement. So he said, um, "You want me to recommend one of my homies, one of my homeboys, or whatever?" And I was like, "Sure, yeah." But I said, "Got to be upfront about this. I want you to let them know everything about this project because I don't want no stuff." And what I mean by that is this project is called We Brothers, and it's basically about six black men who share a brotherhood, a close friendship, but they come from different backgrounds. Um, where, two of them are heterosexual, three of them are same gender loving. I don't use the terminology of gay, but I'm not going to get into that on here. But I don't use that term. Same gender loving came from a black man by the name of Dr. Theo Monago. But I'm not about all the LGBTQ stuff or whatever, and I'm not knocking anybody, but that stuff is not culturally affirming and is steeped in systemic white supremacy. But again, two of the brothers are heterosexual, three of them are same-gender loving, and one of us is bisexual, but they have a close brotherhood nonetheless, and they're all men, and they don't let none of that get in the way. Both of the heterosexual brothers are in healthy marriages, relationships with black women. Um, and you also see a relationship between two black men that's not the stereotypical thing that you normally see as far as how they talk, the different issues that are addressed. It's not the same most stereotypical issues that are addressed when they show that type of situation on screen. There's a whole lot of different um, elements in this story that make it different, that make it kind of groundbreaking. And I describe this project sort of like poetry on film, um, if you know what I mean by that. uh, Poetry on film, and there was somebody else who I allowed to see the script who kind of compared it. Not that the story is the same, but they was like the feel of the story is like similar or reminded them of Love Jones. So for you, when you read the script, well, first of all, let me backtrack 1 second. Um, when I was introduced to you, I wasn't aware that you were somebody whose work I had already seen and was very thoroughly impressed with. I had
Appreciate that.
seen, yeah, I had seen episodes of Perfect the series, what,
Hmm.
3 months ago, whatever it was, and I was thoroughly impressed. I knew the name Cadell Cook was attached to it, and so I assumed that he shot it. I know he wrote it and directed, and I thought he shot it maybe too. I didn't know that you had shot it, and then when
Hmm.
I found out that you shot Perfect the series, it was kind of like a sealed deal for me. I'm like, because I love what I saw with that. I was
Right, right.
very impressed. Yeah, very
Hmm.
great quality work. So for you, when you read the script, because you said there's certain things that draw you to a story or draw you to
Hmm.
um, a script, what for We Brothers really touched you or drew you in to it
Um, yeah, I
without
like.
giving away too much of it?
Oh, okay,
Right.
yeah, right, right, right. Yeah, I'm drawn to stories where it's not the run of the mill, everyday,
Mhm.
stereotypical type story, and I
Right.
like telling stories where it's not, it's something that is not been touched on too much, where it's something you
Mhm.
can actually cover new ground, where you can
Right.
pioneer and push something else forward, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
another way to look at things where you can have people that can see it and then think about it, you know what I mean? So
Right.
I think that's what the script portrays, it's a different way of seeing people that you wouldn't necessarily look at them and see them in that way. But then after you watch them,
Mhm.
you hear their stories and you hear what they're about, it changes your
Right.
idea of what you thought that type of person is. So that's really what drew
Mhm.
me to it.
Okay. Now, the way you said that, I totally got it. But are there other ways that you can possibly say a little something about the story without like giving away
Ugh.
all the details?
You go
I
make
mean,
me think out here.
you can say
Um,
a little bit, but you know, you can say a little bit of the details without.
yeah. I think I think the best way to put it is like, when you see when you have certain relationships that are portrayed on screen, you usually see them a certain way, like you already
Hmm.
mentioned, where you
Yeah.
don't believe in
Hey.
you believe in showing things and having men be men and masculine versus
Right.
portrayed in a different way. That whereas a lot of times in films they're not portrayed that way. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Hmm.
that's all the characters in there are very much masculine. They're very
Hmm.
much men. And if this is one of those where you
Right.
don't judge a book by its cover. I guess it's like you see them on the street, you wouldn't think anything different about them. You
Right.
would
And
take
this
them
is
as they
not,
are.
and I want to make this clear because people get offended really quickly.
Hmm.
This is not to knock brothers who may be, who may have some effeminate ways. It's not
Hmm.
to knock that at all.
Hmm.
What I'm just saying is that's normally what you see portrayed is the over the top, loud, flamboyant representation. Um, and that's fine because there are people who do carry themselves that way, but that's not all. But that's normally all you get to see. You don't get to see the other brothers who are same gender loving, um, but not the loud, flamboyant ones.
Hmm.
Um, and that don't always just live for the club scene and stuff like that and have other things on their mind that are actually out here doing, different things and being strong and everything. Not that they're not strong, they're strong too, but I'm just saying, um, this is a this is a special story for the reason that it shows a brotherhood between these black men that come from these different backgrounds, like I said, and they don't let their different sexual orientations or whatever get in the way of the brotherhood. And the fact that they all fight for the black community, and that this story shows healthy black love. It shows healthy black love between black men and black women. It shows healthy black love between two black men. It shows healthy black friendship, you
Hmm.
know. Um, so that's why this story is so important to me. And then just recently on this past Wednesday, um, you know, there was a tragedy that happened. I don't really know all the details yet, but there was a friend of mine that I've been friends with, from the theater community for many years, and he died on Wednesday, which was totally unexpected. To my knowledge, he wasn't sick or anything like that. Um, and when I got the phone call that he had passed away, it just really hit me hard. Because he's always been like a big brother to me since we met years ago at a local theater here, a black theater here, that's called Arena Players. And we met and we were doing this stage reading of a play where it was about the Black Panthers called Servant of the People. And he played Huey Newton, and I played the other co-founder of the Black Panthers, Bobby Seale, and we've been friends ever since. And so, um, to hear that he died suddenly like that, and he's always been the type of person that's always looked out for people and helped people. So that really hit me hard, and it hit everybody hard that found out about it. So what I've decided to do was to dedicate this film in his memory as well. So there will be like a mention of him at the end, at the ending credits roll. I want there to be like a mention of him and maybe a couple of clips of him um, acting or whatever. And I told you earlier that, which I already discussed with the actor who's playing the role of Darnell, that we're changing the character Darnell's name to Andre to also honor my, my brother Andre. So this project is very important as far as the different elements that it addresses in a different way and groundbreaking, but it's also got that extra element now because of a very good friend of mine passing. So definitely got to make this a good thing for him. And when I mentioned earlier, right quick, because I know I said I wasn't going to make this a long thing, when I talked about how this is like poetry on film, I think you get what I was saying because we're kind of on we're on the same page with that, right?
Hmm.
Um, you know, like what you showed me with your moving board or your mood board with the different colors and what you want to put in the different scenes. And to me, that looked like poetry. And so that's why how I want this to come off like poetry or spoken word in a way. Um, yeah. So how do you feel about that?
Oh, definitely. I think what I expressed to you when we talked about it is it has a very distinctive color palette and
Hmm.
and feel to it. And
Yeah.
outside as also it's a group of brothers are uh, that are champions for their race. You know what I mean? Like they're out
Right.
here trying to make everything better for not only their families but their fellow African American men and African men. So
Yeah.
that part of
Because
it
yeah.
is it's not the quintessential everyday. People just out here doing whatever, being thugs, whatever else. It's guys out here
Hmm.
that's trying to build their community, and they are also very uh, proud of where they come from, right? And
Hmm.
they have no problem with expressing that
Right.
to the ones they love and to other people. And so when you have characters like that, to me, the look should also be expressive. It should be colorful. It should
Hmm.
be warm, because it's really just one big love story between friends and then
Right.
significant others. You know what I mean? So that to
Yeah.
me, that's all poetry is. It's just expressing yourself
Hmm.
vibrantly through words. You know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So definitely the colors like you said and the music, whatever music the music is a very important part.
Hmm.
Definitely a very important part of whatever it's going to be, like the different background music for certain scenes, whenever to play the music, where to play the music at is very important to this story. You got to
Hmm.
have certain songs, certain, you know, sounds for the different scenes to make it fit like that. Definitely. Uh, so it's been great talking to you. Like I said, I wasn't going to keep you long. I think it's probably been like 15 minutes by now, which I wasn't trying to do most of the talking, but I guess I ended up doing most of
That's all
the
good. I'm a man of
talking.
few words. It's all good.
Yeah, I know. But the thing about it is about me starting this podcast, I'm
Yeah.
normally a very quiet person myself. I
Right.
don't talk a whole lot. But starting this podcast has pushed me out of my comfort zone. It's pushed me out of my comfort zone and made me start to talk more.
Hmm.
Because most people who meet me, like if they see me out and about or hanging out,
Hmm.
I'm like a wall. I'm like a wallflower over in the corner, not really talking to anybody. And so when
Right.
people find out
Right.
that when they find out that I'm an actor and all that too, they're like very surprised because
Yeah.
most of the actors that they know, well, not all, but a lot of them that they know, and some of them that I know are very loud and they act like they're on stage 24/7, you know.
Yeah.
Me, but when I'm on stage, I go and perform. When I get off stage, I'm quiet to myself. So, so I'm normally
Yeah.
the quiet person too. So I have to make myself talk. And this has been very good for me to start this podcast to do that. So I'm very excited, to get started and work with you. And I have a couple of other ideas that I want to run by you too
Hmm.
as well, but not on here.
Right.
Because
Right. Right.
don't
Right.
want them to know that yet. Don't want them to know what's going on in my brain right now.
Yeah.
But I'm going to hit you up really quickly for about 2 minutes when we get
Hmm.
off here. All right. Um,
Right.
so thank you for being on here with me. And tomorrow at 6:30 p.m., I'm going to be talking to two of my cast members. They play a day and Tracy um, Owusu. Uh, so I'm going to be talking to them. Um, and you don't get to see that too much in TV nowadays or films where you get to see two beautiful dark skinned people together. Um, dark skinned black people together a lot of times. They normally like, which is then nothing wrong with being light and dark because I have all that in my family, of
Hmm.
course. But very rarely do you get to see two dark skinned people together. And that's something that you will see in some of the couples in this film. So thank you, my brother, for being here.
No problem.
And I'll be talking to you in 1 minute or so. All right.
All right.
Thank you,
Peace.
Darius.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Darius Lyles. Thank you,
All right.
everybody. All right, peace.
Peace.
Peace. Thank you, everyone. Again, I'll be back here tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. to talk to two of the cast members from We Brothers, Mr. David Booker III and Miss Kristen Michelle Young, who will be playing a couple in We Brothers. See you tomorrow. Peace. Love you, people. Goodbye.